On August 18, 2025, Baltimore's Patapsco River was calm, the water reflecting the soft glow of the setting sun. The city's harbor, usually bustling with activity, seemed to pause for a moment, wrapped in a gentle hush as day faded into night. Cargo ships drifted quietly, their silhouettes outlined against the pastel sky, while the distant hum of the city blended with the lapping of the waves. Until a sudden, deafening explosion shattered the evening's peace, sending shockwaves across the water and through the hearts of everyone nearby. The blast erupted from a cargo ship anchored near the new Francis Scott Keybridge construction site. In an instant, a massive plume of black smoke billowed into the sky, visible for miles around. Flames licked the side of the vessel and debris rained down onto the water, painting a scene of chaos against the backdrop of the unfinished bridge. Sirens wailed as emergency crews sprang into action. Fireboats and rescue teams sped across the river, while fire trucks and ambulances converged on the waterfront. The city's routine was instantly replaced by chaos and concern, as the familiar sounds of the harbor gave way to urgent shouts and blaring alarms. The incident's proximity to the former Keybridge site instantly heightened anxiety, evoking memories of past tragedies that still lingered in the community's collective memory. For many, the sight of smoke rising near the bridge was a chilling reminder of how quickly disaster can strike. Residents gathered along the shoreline, watching in shock and disbelief. Some filmed the unfolding disaster with their phones, while others simply stared, questions swirling in their minds. Was it an accident? Was anyone hurt? What would happen next? The harbor, usually a symbol of commerce and routine, was transformed in an instant. What was once a place of industry and order became a stark reminder of the risks that come with a busy port, and the unpredictable nature of life on the water. First responders mobilized with remarkable speed and determination, racing to secure the burning ship, protect the fragile environment, and ensure the safety of all involved. Their bravery and quick thinking became a beacon of hope amid the chaos. As night fell, news cameras captured the drama for a global audience. The world watched, holding its breath and hoping for good news as the story unfolded under Baltimore's darkening sky. In a single, unforgettable moment, the city's sense of security was upended. The eyes of the maritime world turned to Baltimore, waiting to see how the city would respond to this startling crisis. At the heart of the unfolding crisis was the W-Sapphire, a colossal bulk carrier, her hull heavy with thousands of tons of coal, poised to depart on what should have been a routine voyage. The ship, a familiar sight in the harbor, was crewed by seasoned sailors and 2 local pilots, all prepared for another day at sea. But fate had other plans. Suddenly, a powerful explosion rocked the vessel, leaving it battered and adrift in open waters. Amid the chaos, alarms blared and smoke filled the decks, yet in the face of danger, the crew's training kicked in. All 23 crew members, along with the 2 pilots, were quickly accounted for. Miraculously, no one was harmed in the initial blast. Relief swept through the port community as news spread that everyone was safe. However, the ship itself was in grave peril. Its hull was scorched and twisted by the explosion, and flames threatened to engulf the vessel, raising fears of a much larger disaster if the fire reached the coal cargo. Within minutes, a fleet of tugboats raced to the scene. Harbor pilots and tug crews worked in perfect coordination, expertly securing the W-Sapphire and towing her away from the busy shipping channel and the nearby bridge construction, where further damage could have spelled catastrophe for the city. Their swift, decisive action prevented a potential chain reaction, stabilizing the stricken vessel and creating a safe corridor for emergency teams to board. Firefighters and rescue personnel wasted no time, preparing to battle the blaze and assess the damage. The W-Sapphire was soon anchored in a designated safe zone, well away from other ships and infrastructure. Investigators and safety crews began their meticulous work, combing through the wreckage for clues and ensuring the vessel posed no further risk. The crew's rigorous safety drills and the harbor's rapid coordinated response had averted a tragedy of unimaginable scale. Yet the incident was a stark reminder of the ever-present dangers that haunt maritime operations, where a single moment can change everything. Though the immediate threat to life had passed, the ordeal of the W-Sapphire was far from over. The ship, now resting in the harbor, bore the scars of disaster, and the crew faced days of uncertainty ahead. attention now turned to containing any environmental hazards, launching a thorough investigation, and learning vital lessons to prevent future incidents. Maritime safety officials and investigators worked tirelessly, determined to uncover the cause and ensure the port's continued security. As the city of Baltimore watched and waited, the port community braced for answers, united in hope that such a crisis would never strike again. The emergency response was swift and seamless, a testament to rigorous training and interagency cooperation. The U.S. Coast Guard quickly established command, deploying vessels to secure the area and assess the situation. Baltimore's fire department launched marine units, dousing flames and cooling the ship to prevent further explosions. Environmental teams stood ready to contain any pollution, while police secured the waterfront for emergency access. Helicopters provided real-time updates, coordinating efforts from above. The professionalism and bravery of first responders ensured the fire was contained and no lives were lost. This multi-agency response highlighted the importance of preparation and clear protocols in managing complex maritime emergencies. The incident became a case study in effective crisis management. Baltimore's first responders proved their mettle under pressure. With the fire under control and the W-Sapphire stabilized, authorities shifted focus to safety and investigation. The Coast Guard established a 2,000-yard safety perimeter around the ship, restricting access to protect both responders and the public. This zone allowed emergency crews to work without interference and safeguarded evidence for investigators. The perimeter also ensured no other vessels would be endangered by potential secondary hazards. By keeping the area clear, authorities maintained control and preserved the integrity of the scene. Investigators from multiple agencies prepared to examine the ship and its surroundings. The safety zone marked the beginning of a thorough inquiry into the cause of the explosion. The harbor's routine was disrupted, but the priority was clear: safety first. The investigation was officially underway. The W-Sapphire explosion instantly recalled the trauma of the 2024 Keybridge collapse, when the cargo ship Dolly struck a support and sent the bridge into the river. That tragedy claimed 6 lives and left Baltimore deeply scarred, prompting sweeping changes in port safety. The new incident, so close to the ongoing bridge reconstruction, reignited public anxiety and scrutiny. The port has operated under intense oversight since the collapse, with new protocols and investigations shaping daily operations. The explosion was a stark reminder that the risks remain real, and vigilance is essential. The community's wounds were reopened, but so was its resolve to demand safer practices. Baltimore's journey toward healing and safety continues. The W-Sapphire incident reignited fears among Baltimore's port workers and residents, who have lived with heightened anxiety since the bridge collapse. The explosion raised urgent questions about whether enough is being done to protect the city and its vital infrastructure. For those working the docks, the risks are personal and ever-present. The event prompted calls for greater transparency from shipping companies and stricter oversight from port authorities. The proximity to the new bridge construction zone highlighted the vulnerability of workers and the need for robust safety protocols. The community demanded concrete assurances that lessons were being learned and acted upon. The trust between the port and the people it serves was once again put to the test. Safety, transparency, and accountability became the rallying cries. With the immediate crisis contained and the area secured, investigators shifted their focus to the daunting task of uncovering the explosion's cause. The aftermath was chaotic, but the need for answers was urgent. Every detail, no matter how small, could hold the key to understanding what had happened. The Coast Guard led the inquiry, joined by the National Transportation Safety Board. Together, they began a systematic examination of the ship, its crew, and the cargo it carried. Their investigation would leave no stone unturned as they worked to piece together the events leading up to the disaster. Crew interviews provided first-hand accounts, while ship records and the vessel's data recorder offered crucial technical details. By cross-referencing these sources, investigators hoped to reconstruct the timeline and identify any warning signs that may have been missed. Forensic teams and engineers focused on the most heavily damaged areas, searching for physical evidence that could pinpoint the explosion's origin. Every fragment and scorch mark was carefully documented and analyzed in the hopes of revealing the sequence of events. The possibility of a coal-related gas buildup was under intense scrutiny. Investigators measured gas levels in the cargo bay and examined the coal for signs of spontaneous combustion or chemical reactions that could have triggered the blast. The investigation would be slow and meticulous, prioritizing both safety and accuracy. Each step required careful coordination among multiple agencies, and every finding had to be verified before drawing conclusions. Once the facts were established, findings would be made public, with the goal of preventing future incidents. Transparency was essential to restore trust and ensure that lessons were learned. The process was a sobering reminder of the complexity of maritime safety. Modern ships are intricate systems, and even a small oversight can have devastating consequences. As the investigation unfolded, Baltimore awaited answers, determined to learn and adapt. The community's resilience was evident as they came together, hoping for clarity and reassurance. The search for truth had only just begun, and the commitment of those involved would shape the future of maritime safety for years to come. In the aftermath, Governor Wes Moore moved quickly to reassure the public and demonstrate strong leadership. He emphasized the successful coordination between state and federal agencies, crediting first responders for preventing injuries. Moore addressed renewed safety concerns directly, promising that rigorous protocols would remain a permanent fixture. He outlined ongoing efforts to enhance vessel traffic management, pilot training, and port monitoring technology. The governor's message was clear. Maryland would learn from this incident and strengthen its commitment to safety. By providing timely updates and a clear path forward, leaders helped manage public anxiety. The focus shifted from crisis to continuous improvement. Baltimore's leadership aimed to turn a moment of fear into a catalyst for progress. The W-Sapphire explosion, though alarming, became a turning point in Baltimore's pursuit of a safer harbor. The effective response showed that new protocols were working, but also revealed the need for constant vigilance. Lessons from the incident would inform future safety standards, from ship maintenance to emergency training. The ongoing bridge reconstruction underscored the importance of seamless coordination between construction and maritime operations. The incident prompted a thorough review of safety perimeters and communication protocols. Baltimore's path forward is clear: foster a culture of safety, invest in technology, and maintain rigorous oversight. Through collaboration and commitment, the city can build a resilient, thriving port. The story of the W-Sapphire is one of crisis averted and a community determined to protect its future.